was backstage when they asked me if I would like to have tea or coffee. I am a tea person. A kadak tea, my family, and long drive is what I want. Adventure begins with tea. I mean, the only time one will dislike tea is when the cookie gets dropped in it. How about you, Zina? Tea or coffee?
Well, for me, it's coffee. You can't possibly deny the magic of a hot cup of coffee in the morning, but it's something we don't agree about. What about putting fruit in cake?
Putting fruit in a cake, there's no good raisin in it. Another point that we do not agree on.
Okay. Summer or winter?
Winters for me, you can sense the first smell of breeze as soon as winter arrives. Winter is not a season, it's a celebration. People yearn for love, warmth, and affection. And to be very honest, because I was a summer bride, I still remember the sweat on my face due to full-fledged makeup and a 12-meter long piece of cloth that we call sharara in Urdu. I know the real worth of winter season. How about you?
Well, that sounds terrible.
Yes.
But for me, it has to be summer. It's the time I meet my relatives, go to the beach, and make new memories. It's certainly a time I look forward to every year. But this past summer was way too hot. Like, climate change is really doing its job.
I agree. I have also been experiencing drastic weather patterns since last couple of years. I believe human activities are the main driver of climate change. But the good point is we all can work together for sustainability.
I agree. And sometimes I wonder, why did previous generations not try taking earlier action toward these issues? Like, climate change policies are only recently being put in place.
Maybe they tried their best, but we were so busy working for our dream jobs that we did not listen. Like, if I speak about myself, earlier I used to work for me, myself, and I. But now, as I am aging, I'm working more towards we, ourselves, and us. Hashtag inclusion and diversity.
Well, I admire how mindful your view has become.
Thank you. How about yours?
Well, for me, what I truly wish is that one day, billboards and newspapers are filled with words of celebration instead of words of warning. Because I feel like all everyone talks about these days is our impending doom of ice melting and the sea level rising. It's like no one talks about what they like anymore, or what they want to do, or even who they are. And that's what we want to talk about today, our choices. Because I believe the choices we took yesterday, take today, and will take tomorrow all have an impact on our future. And some of the choices I have taken is to be vegan for 3 years and plant-based for another 4 years. How about you, Maryam?
That is amazing, Zina. Tell me more about it. Do you think being vegan is the only way to be sustainable?
The argument of whether veganism is the solution is not one I can answer. But what I can tell you is, one day I came back home from school and I found that my grandma had just been back from a doctor's appointment. And her doctor had told her to stop eating meat, specifically beef. An alarm went off in my head. How can beef, something so tasty, something she always told me to finish on my plate, be harmful to me? And so I did what I think my generation knows best. I went online, watched documentaries, read books, and what I found was shocking. The livestock agriculture industry, the industry responsible for producing meat for consumption, was one of the largest contributors to climate change. And that's due to the methane gas produced in the digestive tracts of cows. I was at a predicament. I can't one-handedly stop the livestock agriculture industry from working, and I can't stop cows from producing methane. And so I decided to stop having beef instead, to lower the demand for it in the way I can. I know some of you might think I haven't made a huge difference, but to put things a bit in perspective, let's say I had a quarter pound of beef 5 days a week. If you do the math, I've saved up around 127 pounds of beef, And for people on the metric scale, that's 57 kilograms.
That's
It's
a huge number, right?
Yeah. But this also contributed to my other goals, to be more healthy, eco-friendly, and energy-saving, all which are simpler ways of describing sustainability. Because what you notice is, behind a seemingly big climate change are all the small choices we take. How have you chosen to be sustainable, Maryam?
A little effort each day adds up to a big reward. I do not have to go out of my way to work for sustainability. As a woman, wife, mother, educator, I always try to balance my life. And since food is the basic necessity we all need to have, I try to prevent as much food waste as I can. Have you ever wondered, what if superheroes are for real? Well, if one chooses any of the way to prevent food waste, we all can be superheroes. This world can be full of superheroes. No name needed, no identity needed. We all will be different with the same aim of a sustainable life.
That's wonderful. Tell me more about it.
According to United Nations Food and Agriculture Department, 1/3 of the food is thrown away every year that could help in feeding 39% of global population. This means if we can save by just a quarter, we could help in ending global malnourishment. One man's trash is truly another man's treasure, but the alarming situation of food waste has grown to an extent that what we see in future is only waste, but not enough food to feed the needy.
That sounds terrible. What can we do about it?
Bringing mindfulness to our shopping routine is an art. People shop visually, as they say, pile it high, watch it fly. The bread earners of the family gets easily distracted by the illusion of abundance. They go to hypermarket, seeing abundance of food make them realize that they should buy more for their family. But the food that they buy in bulk eventually goes to the garbage bin. We all know what is healthy and unhealthy for our families, but we do not know the amount of food we throw before, during, and after cooking the meal. So while showing off my culinary arts, I am always mindful about the amount of food I throw before, during, and after cooking the meal. We generate around 800 million kilograms of food waste, and cooking in a larger amount contributes to it.
That's huge. And all the sales, clearance offers, and bulk buying definitely doesn't help in this. Like, I recently saw my friend post her bill for the month. And I was surprised to tell you that it was longer than her. It was longer than 170 centimeters.
Really? Wow. I teach teenagers, and I have observed that one of the top 5 things they love to do is to eat. They eat more either when they are very hungry or they have a lot of options to choose from menu card. So food waste can be eliminated by choosing fewer portions. Do you know that children also play a vital role in generating food waste?
How?
From baby showers, gender reveal parties, to birthday parties. Ordering a lot of catering food leads to severe food waste. I still remember it was my son's birthday last year. Some of his friends were invited. After having a discussion with my husband, we asked the local pizza restaurant to bring pizza slices instead of full pizzas. My son was not happy, came to us and asked, "Why can't we order full pizzas?" We both smiled and said, "Because we don't want them to leave their food." He was not satisfied, went back to his seat. Luckily, one of his friends said, "Ali, that's a great idea to prevent food waste, because when we go with our families to pizza restaurant, we always end up leaving pizza slices and corner of pizza slices on our table." Relatable, right? We do not need sophisticated farming to feed the needy. Instead, we have to work at all levels to equalize the resources that we currently have.
I agree, and something I've noticed, a common misconception that people have, is that if we all get our food from one kitchen or one source, then we're going to be more sustainable. But the reality is that a meal cooked in a restaurant emits 5 times more carbon emissions than a meal cooked at home. And so, for example, in your son's birthday, even though they chose to eat out, they still took measures to prevent food waste. And just like that, the note I'd like to leave you on is this. Every choice we take is more sustainable than another and less sustainable than another. So next time you go to do anything maybe you haven't thought of before or you've been taking for granted, take a minute, think about it. How can I make this more sustainable?
This is going to build communities and involve everyone from social circle to family circle. And that would be the best gift for tomorrow's future. So despite of our likes and dislikes, you stay with your coffee, let me stay with my tea, and let's work together for sustainability. Life will give us many options, but the options we choose will determine our future.
When life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right?
That's correct. But hey, do take care of the lemon trees before it goes extinct. Thank you.